Hello, my friends. How are you? Thank you for stopping by. My name is Jason, and this is the Outstanding Life Show. Here we talk about everything related to recovery. We go over mindfulness. We do talk about addiction. There's quite a few things we talk about, and we do cover. Well, we're trying a different approach this season. I'm trying something new, and let me know what you guys think about it so far. I'm breaking it apart into different, not seasons, but I want to call it different themes. And so this theme, we have 12 months in a calendar year. So my thought process is, what if we covered each step would be its own separate month? And so within a whole month, we're going to dive into, with January being the first month, we'll talk about the first step. And so the first step would be then step 1. And then we move into step 2 for February, step 3 for March. And by the time we finish the whole calendar year, we would have gone through the entire 12-step program. Now, each step has quite a bit in it. Like, there's no quick one-liner about each and every step. So by the time we finish a month, we would have covered the gamut, the wide range of everything related to that one step. And then as we progress through the months, we'll dive into it a bit deeper. But again, we're 6 days so far into step 1. We still have quite a bit of content left to go. And I thought about because season 1 I did long form videos, and some of them were like 30-40 minutes plus. And those videos, I gain a lot of watch time. Like those, I have more watch time minutes on the longer form video, but I have more engagement on the short form videos. And so that got me thinking, well, what if I made sort of like the best of both worlds? And what if I took more frequent short-term videos and was able to get that out there more often? So my commitment to you is we're going to cover the range of everything related to step 1, but I don't want to do it in a long form. So these videos are going to be short form. And to help with short form, now that I bring that up, I've got some notes. And so if you're new here and you've never seen the notes before, if you type notes in the comments below, I have a Facebook Messenger bot set up, so it'll just send you a message just in your comment section or just in your messenger, and you can get today's notes. Okay, so we've covered the intro, but what we're doing. My name is Jason, and I'm with the Outstanding Life Show. I have been clean and sober for now 6 years, 6 and a bit. And in less than a week, I'm really excited. It's actually my birthday, my belly button birthday, we call it in recovery. And I can't wait. Every year is a gift, and every day I'm thankful. And it gives me a chance to celebrate. It lets me have some birthday cake. I look forward to the birthday cake every year. Although last year I had cupcake. I had like 3 cupcakes instead of 1 birthday cake. But I think 3 cupcakes covers a birthday cake. Let me know what you think in the comments, if you agree or if you don't agree. How do you celebrate your birthdays? I'm probably going to be going for cake. But before that, I'm probably going to go to the gym and do some... I'm working on my birthday, so I'll go to the gym after. I'll go to the gym after work and then celebrate with some birthday cake or cupcakes. Okay, so today we're talking about step 1, and we're going to dive into the headline. I wanted to write something catchy. So the headline I wrote, there is no we in recovery. But on the flip side, there is no I in recovery either. And one of the things for me, in the heat of my addiction, when things were not looking up, when things weren't looking too great, those were the times where I felt the loneliest. Those were the times in my life where I felt that there was no way that anybody could possibly understand what I'm going through. There's no way that anybody can identify with who I am or with what I'm struggling with. And that perception, that even in just believing in that reinforced it, and that elevated it to a whole new level. And it wasn't supportive, and it wasn't conducive, and it wasn't healthy, and it didn't breed any good decision making. It didn't push me forward. And in feeling that sense of loneliness and in self-medicating with alcohol and other drugs, it didn't help me. It didn't make things better. Despite how lonely I might have felt, consuming those things didn't make the loneliness go away. It just numbed the feeling. It made it so that I wasn't paying attention to it. It didn't solve it. It didn't make it go away. All it did was just turn off that part of my brain that was feeling that. And then eventually when things wore off, I would wake up the next day and I'd feel like crap. And I would never I would never figure out why things weren't changing. And it didn't dawn on me until I joined the program, until I took that first step, and until I joined this amazing community of supportive individuals. And in the previous episodes, I've shared about there's 400 different meetings in the city of Calgary within a week. And if there's one meeting that I don't like, that doesn't mean I'm not going to like any of the other meetings. When I first started going to the meetings, I felt a little standoffish. I thought there was this idea of these people won't understand me because I don't know them. But then as I went to more meetings, because in rehab, we had to go to meetings. I think there was like 3 or 4 meetings a day. There was a morning meditation. There was a meeting before class. And then there was an after dinner meeting. And then we had to go to an off-site meeting. So at 3 or 4 meetings a day over the course of 9 weeks, that's at least a couple hundred meetings over the 9-week period. So what I started out believing when I first started going to the meetings versus the sheer exposure of the raw. In my mind, I had believed that what I thought the world of recovery was. I thought what addiction was before going into treatment. But as I became more exposed to the meetings and seeing all walks of life that are struggling with the same challenges that I'm struggling with, I began to appreciate that I'm not alone. I began to identify more with these strangers than I did with my friends or my family. I no longer felt alienated, even though I didn't know anything about them. All I knew was that they were struggling with the same thing I was. They had a different story. What I thought was interesting is someone said it in one of the meetings, and it doesn't matter what brings us to those rooms, what brings us to the meetings. But what's important is what makes us stay. And what makes us stay, what made me stay, was the message. The message of, that we're not alone. The message that there is a way. And there is a message of, one step at a time. There's a whole bunch of them that they use, but, easy does it. And I don't want to say it was through repetition, but there was points where I really didn't know not that I didn't know what I was going to do, but I didn't know how to proceed. And I struggled with it for so long, going to the meetings at first. And I remember at one, I think I was in the Southwest. It was an open group. There's different kinds of meetings, like the 400 meetings I talked about. And there's open meetings and there's closed meetings. And there was this one open meeting I was at. And I remember hearing people share their story. And for me, that was one of the things that helped revitalize it, because it was them telling their own story in a different way. But I can imagine myself in that same scenario. And often, while the characters are different, I could still see the elements as being the same. I would find a lot of similarities. And in this one meeting, somebody shared this story, and I really connected with it. And I didn't appreciate how deeply it connected with me until I noticed that I was in the middle of a meeting and I was breaking down. Like I'd seen people in meetings break down before, and I didn't know how I could support them except, just let them know I'm there for them. But then when it was my turn, when I broke down, the people around me let me know that they were there for me and that they can help me and that it was a safe place. And holy crap, these people that I had no connection with, that I had known bits and pieces of, were there for me when I needed them most. And I had never felt more safe than in a meeting. And so while there is no I in recovery, there's no we in recovery either. But it comes from a fellowship, and it comes from that connection that I found. When I went to rehab, there was 50 other guys there, and not everybody made it through the program successfully, but so there was always new guys coming in and always guys graduating, which was, giving me inspiration. And having that tight-knit group of guys, it made me, I don't say it made me identify with them, but you can't help but get close to people when you're living with 50 other people. I didn't make a direct connection with every single one of them, but there was a handful of people that I still stay in contact with today. There's still people that we do checks on each other just to see how each other is doing. How's your recovery going? And I love that sense of community. I love that sense of honesty, that sense of transparency. Not that I couldn't get that from my non-recovery friends, but I like that. I like that sense of that commitment, not just to the program, but to each other. And for me, that sense of community is what helped me move through this. It wasn't the community that motivated me. It was me that wanted it. But it was, what made me stay, what made me want to push through it, was knowing that there was other people out there. And this excuse that I would tell myself that nobody understands was no longer warranted. It didn't hold any more weight. And so the only person that was standing in my own way was me. So once I let go of that idea, once I took that first step, once I moved beyond my ego, then I was in a spot to let recovery in. Then I was in a spot to move forward in a positive, in a positive direction. And the group, the community was there to help. And to this day, I'm ever so thankful. And to this day, I'm filled with appreciation and gratitude. But I didn't think I would find, through a group of people, I didn't think I could find that much of a sense of reward, like a sense of contribution. It sounds silly. Sometimes I'll go to a meeting and I might be there and I might share a story, and for me that might be over hundreds of meetings. You eventually cover a lot of the same material. There'll be topics that are thrown out there, and then you just go over that, your interpretation of that topic. And so while to me that might make sense, that might be somebody new, that might be some new person, that might be the first time they've heard it. That might be the first time that really connects with them. And there are times where you might see the same person and they might be sharing the same story for the 13th time, but it's on that 14th time that I've had a raw connection with it because I just had an experience about that the week earlier. And so it's through that consistency of showing up, that commitment to myself, my recovery, my commitment to my fellowship, my other brothers, and that open group. Holy cow, that's my home group now. That's where I choose to set up my base. That's my home shop. Okay, so everybody, in case you didn't notice, my name is Jason, and this is the Outstanding Life Show. We talk about everything related to recovery, addiction, mindfulness. Today's topic, we're talking about step 1, and we're talking about we. We're talking about being in a group setting where, just trying to do it myself isn't going to help. And if I try and do things by myself, I'm not going to make it. That's the white knuckling part of recovery. Not much is going to get done. I was never doing anything constructive when it was just me struggling by myself. And the moment I reached out for help, the moment I got the support I needed through going to a group, in that moment I was able to find a higher power bigger than myself. And then I was able to keep going back. So with each of these episodes, I've got it set up so we can get some notes. And if you type notes in the comments, we'll be able to have that sent out to you. Or if you're on Facebook, you can always type in outstanding.video/notes. or that's on YouTube, sorry. If you're on Facebook, you can just type notes in the comments. But if you're on YouTube, you can go to outstanding.video/notes, and then we'll have them sent out to you in Facebook Messenger. Okay. So in each of these episodes, we do want to have something of value, something else beyond just talking. We want to make it actionable, and I want to celebrate it by having a gratitude. So we have a gratitude of the day, and we also have an action of the day. So for today's gratitude, I'm thankful that I've been able to appreciate, my higher power, that there is no we in recovery and there's no I in recovery either. And it wasn't until I accepted that I'm powerless over alcohol and other drugs that I'm able to move forward in the direction of progress, and the healing can begin. And I can let that recovery I don't want to say take its shape, but I can allow it to have the capacity to grow. Because the longer that I hold out, the longer I'm pushing more things away, the more I'm feeling isolated and not letting anything in and not letting anything out. How am I able to go and grow? How am I able to let my recovery blossom, for lack of a better word, if I'm constricting it? So removing that belief, shattering that ego, surrounding myself with a supportive community, those are all things that help me set myself up for success. And it's not really a long-term thing. Like, you can't plan that for the next 20 days. You have to plan the next 20 minutes. I take steps and precautions every day to make sure that I'm setting myself up for success. I'm eating all my healthy meals. I'm making sure I'm getting my exercise. I'm making sure I'm sleeping. Because if I'm not doing those things, that's going to build up. And then pretty soon I'm making decisions that are going to be isolating myself from other people. And then that's where the train wreck happens. That's where the Swiss cheese model, where one small thing leads to another until pretty soon there's a catastrophic event. So I do my part for my small little milestones every day, just so I can get those wins. I can line them up. And that's, I'm thankful that I'm here, that I have all these support systems in place. One, to hold me accountable, because people call me out and they ask me how I'm doing and they check on me. And I love all you guys' messages, by the way. There's a lot of questions you guys ask, and that drives a lot of the show, some of the questions you guys send me. So I encourage you, if you do have more questions, shoot me a message, leave them in the comments. I really appreciate the sense of community that we've been able to build, the sense of trust that you guys share. That tells me that, I appreciate that you show up and you bring your value, but that also shows that you find value as well. Okay, so we've got today's gratitude of the day, and now today's action of the day is, today I'm going to celebrate my fellowship by contributing value by going to a meeting. And if I don't know what that is, if you don't know what a meeting is, every city has a central office, and that central office has like the master list of all the different meetings in that city. It's crazy. I know on the Calgary website, they have one where it's almost like a filter. Like, you can pick the kind of meetings you like, and then it just spits out a list of all the meetings that fit that criteria. Some of the most interesting meetings I've been in are ones where they're open meetings, and some of the greatest value I've gotten are from closed meetings. I've seen meetings where they're specific, like all men's groups. I've seen meetings where they're all natives, or meetings that are like NA, where those are often a little more raw, a little more specific. But some of what I can connect with have come from the people who are suffering just as much, or I don't say just as much, but they're struggling in their own way. And by sharing our own stories, by sharing how we've managed it, how we've dealt with it, that can help give others strength. And that's kind of what I wanted to do with this show. Sorry, not that we're here to help convince you to do anything, but this show, I meant it to be an asset or a toolkit to help you, if you've already made the decision that this is what you want. And, if you want to live an outstanding life and you don't want to be surrounded by these things, there is another way. And I didn't think there was one, and I didn't believe that there could be somebody that does understand me or can appreciate the same struggle. And that's when I went to a meeting, and then I went to two, and then I went, hundreds of meetings later, here we are. And so I want to stop and say thank you, and I want to let you know that I appreciate you for showing up. And even if you leave a message, or if you say hi, or if all you're doing is lurking, there's a lot of lurkers that watch the show, but it's the conversation you guys send me I think is amazing. So thanks again for stopping by. I really appreciate it. My name is Jason. I look forward to seeing you in another episode, and I'll catch you later, okay? Take care. Bye.